guys, today I'm going to give you the beginner's guide for how to tune your violin. First off, you're going to want access to either a piano, a keyboard, or a keyboard app such as Virtuoso. And you'll also want to use another app called Tuner Lite, which looks like this. I'll make sure to give you guys links in the description below. So there are two methods for tuning your violin. You've got the tuning pegs and the fine tuners. I only have one, but you should have all four, hopefully. So normally I advise my beginner students to only tune with the fine tuners because they are a lot easier to use. However, fine tuners can only change the pitch a small degree. So if your violin is really out of tune, you're going to need to use pegs. So for that reason, I'll show you how to use both today. But first off, we're going to start with the fine tuners. I only have one, so I'll only be demonstrating on my E string. So I purposefully tuned my E string down so it is out of tune so that I can show you how to tune it back up. So right now you'll want to go to your piano or keyboard and play the note E5. I'll show you where it is. That note right there. And you'll want to match your E string to that E. So now that you have a reference for what it's supposed to sound like, go ahead and open up your other app, Tuner Lite. Once you have it open, you're going to want to press the tuning fork button. And then play your open E nice and long so that your phone can get a good read on whether it's in tune or not. So on my app, the red light to the left is going off, which tells me that this string is flat and it is too low. So that means I need to raise the pitch. And in order to raise the pitch, I need to tighten my fine tuner. So I'm going to turn it clockwise or to the right in order to tighten it. So I'm going to play with my right hand. I'm going to take my left hand over to my fine tuner and I'm going to twist it clockwise until it says it's in tune on my tuner app. Once it turns green, you know that it's in tune. So I just showed you what to do if your E string was too flat. Now I'm going to show you how to tune it if your E string is too sharp. So we're going to listen to that E5 again as a reference. And I'm going to play my own E string, which is now tuned too high. And this time, I'm going to play it with the tuner app. So I'm going to press the tuning fork button and play the E string again. So now, the red light to the right is going off. That means this note is too sharp. So I need to tune it down. In order to tune it down, I need to turn my fine tuner counterclockwise. So I'm going to play and bow with my right hand and I'm going to turn it counterclockwise with my left hand while I'm watching the tuner until the light turns green. If you go too far, then just turn it back the other way and keep going until you get that green light. For the rest of the strings, I'll be tuning with the tuning pegs because I don't have fine tuners for the rest of my strings. So first off, you want to make sure you're using the correct tuning peg for the right string. So I'm going to start with my A string, which is the second string from the right if the violin is facing you. I'm going to trace up all the way into the peg box and find which peg the string wraps around. So it wraps around the top right peg, and it will be the same on every violin, or it should be, but always double check that it lines up and wraps around the correct peg. Now pull out your tuning app, tuner light, and the first thing you want to do is press the speaker button. This is going to play an A for us, and that's the pitch we are tuning to. So go ahead and play your own A string. Hopefully you can tell that those are not the same pitch. And if you have trouble telling if your own violin is too high or too low, then just go ahead and press the tuning fork button, and that will tell you. So go ahead and play your A string again. So my tuning app is reading that note as an A flat. And A flat is below A. So that means this string is too low and it needs to be raised. So if you're going to raise the string, then you need to turn it clockwise. You need to turn it away from you. But before you ever turn the string, turn the peg away from you and tune it higher, you need to tune it down. So I'm first going to twist it toward me and bring it down, and then I will tune it up, and I'm going to try and match this pitch. And then at that point, you can pull out the app and press the tuning fork button. And if it reads as green, then you're in tune. If it reads as red, then it's still out of tune. But hopefully it at least reads it as A. So if it reads it as an A, but has a red light, then at this point you can go ahead and tune the rest with your fine tuner because it is pretty close. Now sometimes the pegs are really stiff and you'll have trouble moving them just with your left hand. So if the pegs are stuck in place, then you can sit down, put your violin in your lap, and hold it with one hand and then twist it with the other, and that'll make it a little bit easier. And you can just pluck the strings in order to hear if it's getting closer to your reference pitch or not. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the D string. So you'll want to use a piano or your keyboard app to find the note D4 and use that as a reference pitch. It's right there on the piano. It's the note above middle C. And that's the pitch we were trying to tune the D string to. The D string is going to be the second string from the left if the violin is facing you. So go ahead and find which tuning peg the string wraps around. It should be the one on the top left. So go ahead and listen to that note. If you can have someone hold it down for you, that would be super helpful. Or you can just listen to it once and then pull out your tuning app and press the tuning fork button. And play your own D string. My app is reading it as an E flat. So that tells me that this string is too high because E flat is above D, because E comes after D in the alphabet. So that means we're going to need to loosen this peg. I'll have to turn it towards me counterclockwise. So to help me out, I'm going to play that D again as a reference pitch and try to tune it to that the best I can. Make sure that you're also pushing the pegs in while you are twisting, otherwise it can slip and it will come all the way undone, and you don't want to have that happen because it just makes it harder to tune. So be careful to push them into the peg box. So now I'm going to check that string with the tuning app. I'm going to use the tuning fork button. And I have a green light. So hopefully at this point your tuner will read the note as D, and then you can use your fine tuner to tune it all the way until it's a green light. If it's not, keep using the piano as a reference pitch and trying to get it as close to that as you can. Okay, last string is the G string, the one on the very end on the left side. If you follow it up, it wraps around the tuning peg on the bottom left. So I'm going to pull out my keyboard app, and this will be G3. It's right there. And I'm going to play with the tuning fork on my tuner app and see if it's in tune. My tuner is reading this string as an F sharp. F sharp is below G because F comes before G in the alphabet. So that means I need to tune it up. I need to tune it clockwise and away from me. But remember, you always tune it down first before you tune it up. So I'm going to listen to that G again to help me find this note. And now I'm going to check it with my tuning app. So my G is still a little flat because the red light to the left is going off, and I need to raise it a little bit more. So if I had a fine tuner at this point, I would use my fine tuner and I would turn it clockwise a little bit until it was a green light. But because I don't have fine tuners, I'm just going to tune with my pegs. And now it's in tune. So remember tuning with your pegs, always tune down first. And when you tune down, that is coming towards you. And then you can tune up if you need to. And make sure that you are pushing into the peg box so that the string does not slip. And hopefully you can just use your fine tuners and you don't end up in a situation where you need to use the pegs. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and good luck tuning your instruments, guys.